Once upon a time, there was a king. He had a minister. The king's minister was very wise. He would always say, "Whatever happens, happens for good." One day, while the king was cleaning his sword, it accidentally dropped on his feet, cutting off his toes. "Ouch!" the king yelled. The minister that was seated next to the king said his usual line, "Whatever happens, happens for good." The king got mad at hearing this and said, "I just lost my toe, and you think this has happened for good? What is good about it?" The angry king ordered the minister to be sent to jail. The minister didn't feel sorry for this, and while leaving for jail, he said again, "Whatever happens, happens for good." The king was amazed to hear this. He thought, how a strange person this minister is. He's going to jail and saying that whatever happens, happens for good. But guess what? A few months later, the king went hunting with his soldiers in the deep forest. However, the king lost his way while chasing a deer and got separated from his soldiers. When he realized this, he started looking for a way out of the forest. Suddenly, the king was surrounded by a group of tribals living in that forest. The tribals did not recognize the king, so they captured the king and took them to the tribe. These tribals have been looking for a human whom they could sacrifice to appease their deity. The king was begging them to release him, but the tribals did not understand the language of the king. They started playing drums and singing out of happiness. Later, the king was giving a good bath, new clothes, and a garland, who's now all set to be sacrificed. Just as they were about to kill the king, the head of the tribe noticed that one of the king's feet was missing. Seeing this, he ordered all the drums and singing to be stopped and said, "This man cannot be sacrificed because he is incomplete. If an incomplete human is sacrificed, the deity will be unhappy." The head of the tribe ordered the release of the man, and the king sighed in relief. The king happily returned to his palace. After returning to the palace, he wondered if one of his toes had not been chopped off, the tribals would have killed him. This means the minister was right. Whatever happens, happens for good. He immediately ordered the release of the minister from jail and promoted him to a higher position in his cabinet. The king said to the minister, "I am sorry you suffered so much because of me. You were right. Whatever happens does happen for good. However, you were jailed for 2 months. What good happened to you?" The minister smiled and said, "As your security minister, if I had not been in jail, I would have been with you in that forest. The tribals would have definitely sacrificed me as none of my body parts has been cut off. So this way, both of us were safe from the danger. That's the reason I always believe in whatever happens, happens for good." This is how a little accident turned into a big lesson for the king and his kingdom. So remember, when things don't go as planned, just keep your chin up and believe that whatever happens, happens for good.